Hey, what's going on? It's Travis Stewart here. I know that I said I was going to give you an update of my Epi-Andro log, talked about my experience with it, and I haven't. And my apologies for that. I take full responsibility, but life just sometimes gets in the way. Secondly, if you're interested in following along, I am now going to do weekly, maybe every 2 weeks, a video of what I'm currently taking, how it's affecting me. I've got nothing to sell. I've been in the industry now for 10 years, and I actually sold out on my company. So I'm now just doing this to log my experience, my journey, to help further support your journey. And I'm going to tell you exactly like it is. So let's get into Epi-Andro, or epiandrosterone. So getting back to why I originally started taking this was because, number one, my T levels were low and I didn't want to jump on TRT, and I was trying to hedge my bets. Prohormones can often be very, very liver toxic. However, epiandrosterone doesn't have any hepatotoxicity. So I thought, okay, well, this is a good leaning out agent. And you know what? I took it for about 2.5 weeks and I stopped. And I did notice a leaning out effect. I did notice that I was more vascular in the gym, that I was kind of doing a recomp. I wasn't really bulking. I wasn't really cutting. And I did notice more veins more vascularity at that body fat level. I was about 19% body fat. It's not great, but it's just where I was. And, the reality is I stopped taking it after 3 weeks because I could not overcome the side effects. The side effects just they were so high that it was outweighing any of the pros. And unfortunately, I have real bad stomach issues. It really did aggravate my stomach, and I don't know whether it was just the brand that I had, which was, what was the brand of it? I don't have it in front of me because I threw it away, but I think it's Nutrition Labs or something, Centurion Labs, that's what it is. And, they don't even make that product anymore. So I can't really speak about, Olympus Labs and some of these other supplement companies. They may have legitimate products. I noticed in the comments below that of the last video that there's a few people taking Olympus Labs, Epi-Andro, and this is why this video piqued your interest. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about where I am right now. So honestly, I have, over the last around 10 weeks, I've lost about 20 pounds, and I've really leaned out a lot. I'm not a huge fan of leaning out like this, but really next year I want to compete in classic physique, and in order to do that, I've got to bring my 100. Right now I'm about 7% body fat, but I need to bring my physique to 190 pounds. So in order to do that, I want to start with a clean slate. So my cut is almost over, but I want to tell you about the supplement I've been taking while I've been on this cut, and what's going to happen when I'm finished with my cut. I'm going to start going on the quote unquote bulking. And when I say bulking, my goal is to shift anywhere between 8% on a cut to 12 to 13%. And that's kind of my range. So not bulk, for 6 months and gain 40 pounds. No. Now, I got a little out of hand before, and so that's why I lost about 20 pounds and went from 18% body fat to now 8. And that's too much, and that's very difficult to do. But if you're there, just know that it is not easy to do, and that the hunger pains are real, and it's just part of the journey. However, throughout this process, I have been taking, speaking of Olympus Labs, I've been taking Olympus Labs Ostarine. Now, this is a whole nother section. SARMs, selective androgen receptor modulators, they bind to the steroid receptors, and it really just plugs in there, and it doesn't affect any other parts of the body. That's the benefit of it. They use it for cancer treatments from a medical perspective. However, these are not magic pills. They do work, and what I mean by that is when I went from 2,400 calories a day down to all the way down, I was cutting at about 100 calories a week, all the way down to 1,700. What I noticed was that my strength, even at 1,800 calories, was still there. Now, keep in mind the fact that it comes with, when we're talking about removing food from your diet, you're just not going to have the same strength that you would with more mass, that's fat and muscle. So I've been on that now at 25 milligrams, Olympus Labs, for, it's been 11 weeks or so, and I'm about to jump off that. My quote unquote end of my cut is July 6th when I go on my cruise. I wanted to have a line in the sand, so I had a goal. So after that, so between that and when I get off, I'm going to actually jump on a free testosterone, a natural testosterone booster. And now for the juicy stuff, because when I get back from the cruise, I have planned out my first real cycle. Because look, now that I've gone down the Prohormones route, and I went with a very mild prohormone, I realized, like, look, if I'm going to dive in the water, it might as well be in the deep end. I might as well do this thing right, get blood work, do my research. And really, I've been researching over the last 6 months. I've always been fascinated by anabolics, but now I'm actually going down that road. I've decided that I'm kind of using this I call it a bridge, but obviously the pro-hormone cycle did not work well for me. In terms of epi-androsterone, I ended up losing 4 pounds, and I did not get a lot of results. But that's just me. That's just my experience. Take it for what it's worth. It's anecdotal, okay? So I have decided to then bridge it with Ostarine, which I will almost be done with. Then I'll move into just the natural testosterone booster while I'm on my cruise. And then when I'm done, and the idea here is I get to show off my lean body, although I've lost a lot of muscle, but that's just part of it. Now, when I get done with my cruise, I am going to jump on 500 milligrams of testosterone enanthate. And it's not just that, there's a bunch of ancillaries along with that, from, aromacin, arimidex, which are aromatase inhibitors, which prevent the growth of gynecomastia, which is fatty tissue underneath your nipples. It helps with a little bit of water retention that I'm going to be facing. When you jump on anything that's going to increase your testosterone, your estrogen just goes up. It's just how it works. It's physiology. Now, there's a lot of other things, but I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm going to make that a completely separate video. But if you're, I know you clicked on this video because you're interested in epi-androsterone, and my experience was I didn't like it. I got off of it. I moved on, and I decided, you know what? I might as well just go into the real deal. I might as well do this the safer route, which is too funny. And I'm going to have bloods as well. I'm going to get all my bloods done, and I'm going to share all this information with you. I'm going to share my full cycle, all the ancillaries, everything from the beginning to it's going to be a 12-week cycle to the end, PCT, post-cycle therapy, what that looks like, and talk about my experience every single week. If that interests you, subscribe below. If you're here for epi-androsterone, again, I don't recommend it, just my experience. If you want to jump in for the ride, if you want to see the drastic change that my physique is going to make over the next 12 weeks or so. Starting July 7th and over the next 12 weeks. I'm starting at 8% body fat with, they say that if you start these cycles at a low percent body fat, you're going to have less estro side effects. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm excited. Come join me. Hit subscribe. This is Travis Dillard, over and out. I'll talk to you soon.